In this video, I'm going to teach you how to date girls in 2023, and more specifically, how to date Romanian women in case you're considering the idea of coming to Romania, Bucharest, or whatever city in Romania. Romanian women, you will find that they are so attractive, so hot, and so romantically involved in general. They are like, I don't know how to describe this. It's a beautiful sensation when you're getting touched by Romanian women. And probably you notice that in America or in the UK especially, women tend to be very masculine, tend to be very cold. I don't know if this is a belief I have, but based on what I have observed in the past few years, because I have been traveling a lot, never came to America, by the way, to the United States, but I've just seen videos of other pickup artists, and it seemed to me that they're either very masculine or very drunk, in case they're feminine, and there was really something that felt out of touch. For example, if you didn't know, let me tell you something about Italian women. So Italian women have this tendency of being romantically involved in a relationship, but what they want, when they want to spend time in having a vacation, or they're leaving work and or they're having Christmas, instead of wanting to be with the family to support each other, they tend to choose activities that do not involve the partner. And if you would ask them why do they do that, it's because they will tell you that is because most of the time they do spend time with the partner, so they want like a break, and it feels like something is not really on point over there. But enough with that. We're talking about Romania and dating in Romania. You most probably are a guy right now that want to visit our country, and I want to encourage you to do so, because you will find amazing adventures over here. So besides traditions, things that you don't know about Romania, you will find amazing women. These women can actually be your guide, can help you understand more about their culture. And if you're looking for a wife or a potential partner to date long-term, Romanian women are the best choice for you. My name is Andrew. Welcome to European Social Dynamics. Please subscribe if you didn't yet. Hit the bell notification button. You will get notified every single time we upload new videos. The first thing you want to do, and this is, you would ask me, why are you telling me some things that I already know? Although people know this, they simply do not do it. We had so many students that came to Romania and they knew they want to approach women. And we had some coachings, and I did explain to them, like, outside of our coaching, you still want to approach women, they wouldn't do it. Okay, the majority of them, they wouldn't do it. It's like they have taken a decision and then reconsider it. So this is a very good lesson for you. Understand, be present, and begin to be way more lucid, that when you take a decision, you do what you decided to do. So with that being said, the very first step, when you're coming to Romania, of course, other than getting familiar with your surroundings, ambient, and knowing exactly the good places to approach, because you're staying for a limited time, you want to get the most results out of this, you want to take action. The very first thing, you want to take action. You want to remember that you came to Romania to understand the country, but also to meet women. So start approaching women in a way that it's not tiring for you, it's not controlling you, it's not making you feel afraid or scared. Approach women in the way you can do it, in a way that you self-accept yourself by doing this. Don't put standards, don't fix certain ideas in your head that you need to approach 10 or 15 girls a day. If you feel comfortable with approaching 2 women, because you most probably don't know the country, don't know their archetype, don't know their way of seeing the world and life, it's okay for you to do 2 approaches to become way more familiar and to feel more relaxed meanwhile doing it. So my first advice would be, remember that you need to take action. Don't stress yourself over taking that action, because it will lead to self-blame, it will lead to hormone stress, which is called cortisol, that it will block you from taking that specific action. So in order to meet women, you need to talk to them. One thing will get in your way, and that is your emotions. And to be more specific, the things that you still don't know and understand about yourself. That's the subconscious mind that will project these theories, making you not to act as you would normally do, spontaneously do. So your ego is basically your subconscious mind, and you're going to put a persona on because of certain beliefs. You might believe that a woman wants an alpha guy all the time, and you're trying to be alpha because deep down you don't consider yourself to be alpha. So now this woman rejects your identity, not you as a human being. So this is one thing, it's very tough for us guys to remember. So understand that most people around you don't really understand their emotions and their thoughts. They are not in control of their own life. So that doesn't make you like you're a broken piece on this planet and you're walking by yourself. Meanwhile, others discover the truth. They came to this realization. They are enlightened as Osho, Sadhguru, Gandhi, and Jesus Christ. No, they have the same feelings of self-doubt, self-pain. They inflict pain in themselves. The things that they watch on Instagram, Facebook, or on the TV, the news, they inflict pain and fear into them. So we are all equal in that case. Okay, so remember this. Although it feels like people have discovered the secrets of the world, they didn't, okay? So they are struggling such as yourself, and they want to do three things. They want to avoid suffering, they want to find happiness, and they will do whatever they can do by that specific time in their life. That's why you don't need to judge them or yourself. And I just want to let you know that in about 3 months, we will have the website launching for this channel where you can buy our products, you can invest in yourself. However, we do have an online course right now that is ready and running for you in case you want to understand your emotions, whatever controls you, and how to be in control of that, and eventually how to let go of that control, because being in control once again shows resisting to the process. It's a very tough conversation over here, requires some videos. You will find this in this course. This is a course especially meant for you to take action, to make you overcome your obstacles, and I can guarantee you 100% you will overcome them. If you want to get access to this online course, all you have to do is email me and tell me that you want access to it, and I will tell you how we can proceed from there. The second thing you want to understand is you want to make use of all three potential scenarios. So because we tend to be confused in life, it's hard for us to be present. It's hard for us to understand the possibilities that we have, because in school they didn't teach us how to think in possibilities, and they didn't show us that the people that have options are powerful. Power consists in having possibilities. So we don't know how to specifically see things that way. So remember that when you come to Romania, you do have three potential scenarios. And by the way, you have these potential scenarios anywhere, not in Romania, but do remember this. First of all, you're gonna grab a coffee, you're gonna have lunch, you're gonna do your shopping, you're gonna maybe cut your hair to a hairstylist. Wherever you go, women are around you. That is a potential scenario. You can talk to the waitress, you can talk to women at other tables, you can talk to women passing by. Do not neglect these options, because otherwise you're gonna feel like you're only approaching when you decided to approach in a specific place, and you will feel like that's the only place where you can actually hook up with women. A lot of guys tend to believe that they can only hook up with girls in clubs, which is a fake belief, obviously, and they don't see the other possibilities. So they constrict themselves, they block themselves in this inner belief, and the only place they take action is in the club, neglecting all other possible scenarios. You don't want to do that. The second potential scenario is you want to approach in specific place. So this is what's happening in boot camps. Usually we have specific places like Union Square in Bucharest, Union Square in Brașov, or other cities. You have 2 or 3 places where approaches are usually done, and they're better because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of flow and people over there. So you do have specific places, specific hours in your life where you decide you're just going out to approach. However, remember that you do have other scenarios. Life goes on and women are all around you. You don't want to approach women, how should I say, as a routine, as you go to the gym or stuff like that, at a specific program in your life. No. You want to do this all the time. It becomes a lifestyle. You're not going to do a diet because you want to lose some weight and then you come back to the junk food you're eating. You're doing as a lifestyle. You're changing your life. So remember this, although you have a potential scenario where you approach women because that's what you decided in that specific place between 2 and 4 o'clock p.m., you do approach people when possibility rise up in terms of you're having a coffee or lunch and whatnot. The third potential scenario that people forget, you will travel to specific places. Maybe you want to see Dracula's castle, or God knows, you want to see Brașov, which is a different city. Well, now you can approach in that specific area as well. I mean, remember that you're also traveling from point A to point B. That doesn't mean you got to be in your head. Be present and in your heart, and And remember that you can approach women during this travel. In fact, there's a lot of women that I met and approached and had beautiful relationships just because we were sharing a specific destination. I approached a woman literally in the train in front of everyone, and we decided to have that date together. And we behaved from the very first second as a couple. This is something that can actually show up in your life if you take that specific action. So remember, you are at the wheel of your own life, as well as you are at the wheel at your own mind and heart. So you want to get better in doing these things. That's why I always recommend, if you want to do some coaching, that's not going to be cheap, it's going to be expensive, but you're doing it as an investment for you. And by the way, if you're clever enough, you're not even spending money, because the amount you pay, you will make it 10 times, if not 100 times more, if you use the things that you are being taught. So this is what people don't understand. They think they're spending money. Nope, because we often train people to be coaches themselves. If you want to get premium coach by the level of a coach, I can do that for you. Or I can give you some basic coaching, which means you will be able to take action in your life. But that's your decision to make in terms of what you feel and what you want from life. Going to the next point, you gotta understand your ego. Because if you understand your ego, you will understand other people's ego. And by the way, I want you to understand your ego because you will know why in certain scenarios or certain times or moments in your life, your ego wants you to jump to sarcasm or arrogance. And I can tell you, based on my experience of the past 15 years, there's not one fucking scenario that makes sense for you to use arrogance or sarcasm. Okay? If there would be a scenario where arrogance is good, well, that's a very professional level, what you need to understand about yourself and people to be able to have the emotional intelligence to actually see that there is a small use for that, because there could be. But it happens very rarely in your life, and I am assuming that you're a guy that doesn't go very often outside, doesn't like necessarily to be in the center of attention, to have social circles that are big, so you will not be facing those situations. That's the point, is not even worth to talk about. The fourth thing I want to mention is, contrary to the society's beliefs that always tell you to be yourself, I'm gonna say, fuck it, never be yourself. Why? Because by being yourself, you came over here. You arrived at this point in your life. By being yourself, by doing the mistakes you've done all the time. So be yourself is a very good advice if you're a person that is looking to grow. If you're investing in coaching, if you're reading books, if you're walking through online courses and taking action, then yes, be yourself, because yourself is becoming a much higher persona. So yeah, you're becoming a much better version of what it means to be yourself. You're upgrading. But most of the people behave like it's a fucking video game. They play the character in the video game. The character itself levels up, goes through challenges and challenges, but they forget that they hold the joystick. So the person behind the joystick controlling that player that is growing, this person remains the same, at the same basic level. So do not be yourself. Whoever tells you to be yourself only wants you to be fucked up, because they want you to be as mediocre as you are probably in this specific moment. They're telling you to be okay with the things that you achieved in your life, to be grateful for those. I mean, being grateful, yeah, showing gratitude is amazing. But being okay with a place where you're not getting the things you want in life, you feel in your heart that you're alone and the society is telling you just be okay. I mean, I don't give a fuck. They want you to be mediocre, because what would suggest if you're raising up above those levels? It would suggest that you have discovered what you need to do in life, and me suggesting you to be yourself, I haven't discovered that. So I'm gonna be full of hate because now you're rising as a person and I don't know how to do that. So you will understand as you go with life that your friends or people in general want you to be happy, but not ever happier than themselves. As soon as you're happier than themselves or more successful, they will usually envy that thing about you. They will usually start to hate on you. The last thing I want to mention is you want to understand women. If you look closely enough, you will see women contradict themselves every 5 fucking seconds. They will say one thing, they will want another thing. They will say one thing and they meant another thing. A lot of women tend to have an instability when it comes to emotions, or at least they are stable in terms of emotions, they have stability, but they don't understand that is a huge difference between an emotion, which is temporary, it's what I'm feeling right now and what I'm not gonna feel in the next hours or minutes or days. So they don't understand the difference between an emotion and a state. The state is something that you always have. You're becoming lovable because you are love as a state. It's not an emotion, so now you're telling this guy that you love him, and now you're making promises and assumptions based on an emotion which is temporary. Because of this, they don't know how to communicate. So they will tell you, for example, and this is very familiar to you, I want a guy that will always be there for me, that will love me and respect me and blah, blah, blah. As soon as you do that, you're gonna get fucked, because she goes and fucks the first asshole she's gonna meet. The difference between these two things is, if you're being the guy that is always there and blah, 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 supportive, you're gonna end in friend zone because you're becoming very predictive. Your predictability is fucking boring. You're boring her to death. She doesn't want that. Yeah, she wants a guy that can feel like is in control, grounded, that can teach her stuff, that can put her to respect if that's the case. If not, you're just gonna be a guy that is always there for her, and try to be always there for her for a bit, and you will see that it's not gonna work. Actually, you've done this in your past, especially in high school when you fell in love with a woman and you followed your mother's advice that would tell you to always love her, always treat her like a rose. And you've done that, and unfortunately it didn't work. Because we're not looking to be loved, first of all, because we don't understand what love is. We're looking to grow, to be fascinated, to feel powerful emotions, and in these powerful emotions, we have a certain cocktail. She might want to feel love in certain times, she might want to feel anxiety also, because that's the mystery that goes, I don't know this guy, it's like a book, I can never understand him. This is what makes you interesting. If I know everything about you, you're like a book I just read and I'm getting bored. I don't want to read it again. If you're like a book that I'm reading and still has pages to be discovered, then that's what we call seduction and mystery. That makes you very unpredictable, and that's what fascinates people. I hope this video helps. And I do want to remember you, our online course about emotions is called Unleash Your Potential. And this is exactly what you're going to do. If you want to get access to it and not wait until March when we have the website on, you can email me right now. If you want to work with me, we do have 2 packages in terms of what coaching means. We have in-person or online, and we can do some basic coaching or premium when you're going to reach the level of a coach. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be expensive, depending on the lifestyle you have and your job and whatever. You can also pay in monthly payments until you can achieve that amount, in case you're struggling, and we do understand that. Just hit me an email and we can take it further on from there. I really want you to be happy, and I brought all the happiness and joy in my life as soon as I started approaching women, because approaching women meant my freedom. It taught me everything that school didn't teach me, and I connected with my heart. I saw my ego, I've seen my issues, I've seen my pain. And till this very point, I want to admit something to you. I am so scared of approaching women. I will always feel this because trauma is never going to be healed. The only thing you can do with trauma, you become way more self-aware. So if there's a difference between me and a guy that doesn't really understand anything about his trauma, is this. That guy will go on the field, want to approach women, and he will feel bam, and he's blocked, he can't do it. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna be like, Jesus Christ, this is my pain, I recognize it, and I'm gonna take action. That is the only difference. It's not like I'm not feeling that pain anymore, or I'm not feeling whatever happened in my past. I will always remember the conditioning that I had for the past 20 fucking years of my life. I will always remember it. I'm just in peace with it, accepting it. And I really, deep down in my heart, I want this for you. I know you can do it. I've seen a lot of guys that I've coached doing it. And I will show you actually how easy you will approach women without me participating. Okay, I will show you how you by yourself approach women, just with a mindset shift and just with me pushing you in a way that I'm gonna tell you, approach this woman. And as soon as you report something, I'm just gonna come back to you. So trust me, in this process, it's gonna be fun. I will make it very fun. I will make it very enjoyable and charismatic. And I will 100% make sure that you do understand everything that we talked about. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. I cannot wait.